He was the boogeyman, and that's what we called him. Everybody was looking over their shoulders, looking who's behind them, looking who. They were afraid of him as long as he was on the street.
The boogeyman was Travis Forbes, the last person known to have seen Kenya Monhey alive before she disappeared. The man whose strange behavior had ramped up Detective Gurley's suspicions, even though the evidence did not warrant an arrest. But now, weeks after Kenya vanished, Gurley had two problems. Kenya wasn't the only one who was missing. So was Travis.
He was gone. I couldn't find him anywhere. I was scrambling to find him. I was checking news. I would put out a teletype online for law enforcement saying, you know, you find any bodies, give me a call.
This guy was that dangerous in your mind that there could be just more?
I was calling everybody. I wanted to find out where he was.
Days passed, then a week. No sign of Travis. Detective Gurley was now working the case almost 24/7. Even his wife was involved.
There was nights where I'd jump out of bed and it would scare her because I'd jump out of bed and grab the phone and she's like, "Did you hear the phone ring?" I said, "No, I'm leaving myself a message because I need to do this."
Yeah, right.
She said, "You talk in your sleep about it, Kenya's name or even Travis's name." She says, "You're dreaming about this."
You're obsessed.
Tenacious.
Kenya's family wasn't sleeping much either.
I thought that she might have been like kidnapped and like put in the basement and like they weren't letting her get any contact with anyone. I had dreams and things and I still felt like I had that sister connection, that she was just still here somewhere needing me to come help her, to just save her and just bring her back home.
Were you thinking about it all the time?
Yeah, it's hard going from talking to someone every day and then not being able to talk to them anymore. It like breaks your heart.
Something is seriously wrong here.
Kenya's father, Tony, made himself a public fixture on local media. But privately, he conducted his own very lonely investigation.
I went dumpster diving. I was looking in trash cans for her body, up and down the alleys, all over.
And yet you couldn't tell Maria.
I couldn't tell her. I could not share what I was feeling because that early in would have removed the only thing that right now everybody had. And that one thing that everybody had was hope.
I was hoping that she would pop up and say, "Here I am." But as time went by and she wasn't contacting anybody, and I knew it was bad.
He also knew that the key to finding Kenya was finding Travis Forbes. The Denver police had no idea where Travis was, whether he was hiding here in town or had left the city, left the state, left the country. He was just gone. Wasn't much they could do. He was a person of interest, but not officially a suspect. And then 2 weeks later, out of the blue, detectives got a call from Austin, Texas.
And my lieutenant walked into the office and said, "Okay," and I said, "What?" She said, "Austin PD just called our fugitive unit. We might have him in the Austin, Texas." I'm like, "What?"
Travis, it turned out, had borrowed a car from an old girlfriend in Colorado. When he didn't return it, she went to the police and filed a report, which more often than not would have led nowhere at all, except a policeman in Austin, with a little time on his hands, decided to check up on an out-of-state license plate he just happened to notice, and discovered first the report for the missing car and then Travis Forbes.
So my lieutenant said, "Grab your search warrant for his DNA and head to Texas." So I hop a plane that night.
A few hours later, Gurley was face to face with Travis Forbes again.
You know what? They sent me to Texas because they think you're running to Mexico.
Oh, what the are you doing in Mexico? And you
get a tan.
And you know what?
He'd call me Nash. I'd call him Travis. It was similar to you and I just talking. I wasn't confrontational with him. If he asked me a question, I gave him an honest answer.
You didn't fly all this way out here to just ask me some questions.
Well, actually, I did. Did you do anything to her?
No,
Did you hurt her?
no. We never touched.
At all?
Not even a hug. And I usually hug people.
Goulet questioned him for more than 3 hours, but Travis stuck to his original story.
I
So
think,
did she have sex with you?
Nash, I think at this point, my lawyer should be present.
So Travis refused to talk anymore. But he didn't have a choice about providing his DNA, thanks to that warrant Detective Goulet brought from Colorado.
I'm just gonna swab the inside of your gums.
And though a stolen car charge seemed hardly enough to warrant extradition, it was in the end just enough. And a few weeks later, Travis was back in a Colorado jail.
I didn't want him in Texas. I wanted him here. I wanted to have access to him.
Where you can continue the conversation.
Absolutely.
But Detective Goulet was in for a big surprise. Slippery guy, that Travis Forbes.
Coming up, the story moves on to another chapter, a different city, and another young woman.
Fort Collins is a college town, and it has a lot of young women there, and they like to party.
When Dateline continues.